Good morning. Welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. We're just gonna do a quick collective check-in. Got Blink 182 going. I don't know how long I have. I don't think I have very long, so. I just want to use the yin yang. My desk is a mess. I should probably clean it today. But anyway. I've been Netflixing the past couple days and there's some really cute shit. I love the cute shit. Rom-com fan all day long. Anyway, if you are someone who watched my story time yesterday, I appreciate you. And to the one person that liked it, thank you for giving me the strength to keep it public. I really appreciate that. I needed that support. Liking videos is actually a very cool thing and you should do it. It gives people strength. Look at this feather orb furball situation. You've got the courage to change. I'm gonna pull it out just because it's wanting to come out. It's also the only card that's creased like that, so when I'm shuffling I know what it is. So, the courage to change. We have feminine energy and air energy with Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Don't go in my tea! There's a boxcar racer. Let's start it over. God, we love the way Tondo enunciates. Okay. We just love Tondo a lot. Okay. My computer's charging, but I don't know if it's really charging because I got my old cord out here. So if I get cut off, that's why. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Oh shit, brah, yeah. We got masculine and feminine energy coming out, both. Usually that could be like a romance thing. I see separation, longing, deception, temptation in reverse, which means you're kind of overcoming stuff. We have messages, dreams, and we have decisions. We have thoughts and isolating. Maybe you're at a distance from someone that you wish you weren't at a distance with. It's probably because you both need self-love to stay centered in yourselves, seek your own intentions. This could also just be the process that you're going through within yourself. You've got guarded and vulnerability on the bottom. So that could also be a hurdle for this, but this could also just be the balancing of your own masculine and feminine energy. And on that story time, I shared that, but I think it's an important message to get across to a collective in this way, so let me share it here. I've been really reflecting on my own masculine and feminine energies and the way I balance them, and I recognized yesterday that about this time of year, I became a mother, and I kind of go into my feminine energy, and then when the weather is warmer, that's when I'm doing projects, that's when I'm doing, making shit happen, planting stuff, and I see that more as masculine energy because of the doing aspect. So masculine energy is doing, feminine energy is being, and I noticed yesterday for myself that I utilize the seasons for that. For fall and winter, I stay in a feminine energy, and for spring and summer, I go into a masculine energy. Now, on any given day, it is a roller coaster. Certain situations demand masculine energy, certain situations demand feminine energy. I have found that balance within myself, for the most part. There are times when, I don't really consciously think about it and move, right? And that's where these decisions come in, right? We all have decisions to make. We all have the courage to step into to change, if change is in fact what we are needing. There's this beeping happening outside. I don't know what it is. But anyway, so for me, I don't know, that was helpful to recognize. I've been thinking about it a lot the past couple weeks. because I don't like it's not that I don't like it, but summer is harsh for me. I don't really like bugs. I don't really like the heat. Um, where I live. So we've got confusion, thoughts, and illusions. I don't know why, but I'm kind of getting maybe you're confused about some deception or temptation. Alchemy and ancestor guides coming out. Venus and offer coming out. Receive and open. Epiphany, breakthrough, distance, retreat, or time out. Spark, renewal, and memories and nostalgia. So with these two, perhaps this is a love offer, or maybe it's just something that you're offering yourself. Be open to receiving information from yourself about yourself, if that's the journey you're on. Now maybe you are calling in a counterpart, love, romance, whatever, I don't know, friendship even, community. Maybe you're just calling in opportunities for yourself. These two are very much giving be open, right? So don't close your heart off to certain things. And that's why I made the story time last night, because I keep letting my past dictate my present and future in some ways. I mean, I'm pretty aware of it, but there's just some shit that I needed to speak. I needed to speak it out. I needed to get it out of my head, get it out of my energy. And that's what I chose to do last night, so that I can be open to receive what is for me. I'm coming up into a season of receiving for me. Again, with that feminine energy being my main way of moving in this seasons, right? I know I said seasons a lot. I speak about like weather seasons as well as like I see lifetime chapters as seasons as well, right? Epiphany, breakthrough, whatever it is that you're seeking clarity on, right? Or whatever it is that you are confused about. Don't let these rose-colored glasses get in the way of this epiphany, right? Don't let the past or anyone else outside of you take away from this experience, right? And this could be anything. This could be an idea, a project, a feeling, a healing, I'm seeking a word. Okay, so I'm getting healing modality. But that's not what I was looking for. I was like, oh, milestone. Milestone is the word. And I was getting like checkpoint. I'm like, no, that's not the word. So whatever healing milestone maybe you are in within your own process. I mean, there are some shadow aspects here, but it's whatever. We have ancestor guides and alchemy. I really had to tap into my own ancestors yesterday, and I kind of channeled them in that message that I spoke about. Because they're pissed and they wanted, I mean, I was cutting up vegetables in the kitchen before I made that story time, and it was just ruminating in my head, and I was like, you need to get this out, you need to speak about this. These are, it was like all of those points that I spoke on were sitting in my fucking brain, and it was a channel, right? So maybe you yourself are exploring how your brain works, exploring how your energy works, exploring your, what I will say is there are the 4 things that you really need to find balance within, and that's your emotional space, your mental space, your physical space, and your spiritual space. And that's this process, right? This isn't something that you can just like decide to do and it's done. No, this is, I just snotted. This is a lifestyle change. It is a commitment to acting and doing and being a certain way every day. It's a conscious decision to move differently, right? To find that balance between your masculine and feminine energy. It's a dedication to self, okay? It's not just something that happens. You have to choose it. So we have chasing nostalgia, and we have renewal and spark. Like I keep speaking about in my own personal thing, maybe there's just something you have experienced that you don't want to carry anymore. Maybe the people around you have made you feel shame about it. I like thinking about nostalgia within a context of happiness, quote unquote, but like nostalgia can be anything. It can be trauma, okay? It is just whatever memories you have, right? The only thing that, like, I think a lot of people, I think the connotation of nostalgia is really like reminiscent of I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, of like holiday time. I think when people think about nostalgia, they think about how like Christmas made them feel as a kid, and I just think that's like a common way of thinking. But nostalgia can be anything, but it is something that we can turn into a tool rather than a crutch, right? Like instead of, wanting to be back in that space or wanting to feel the way we felt as kids, and maybe it wasn't good for you. Maybe it was something that was very traumatic, right? And it's like, there's a balance. Anyway, so whatever memories are causing you to limit yourself, let's say, I feel like you're gonna gain clarity about these things in messages within your dreams. So if you want to start a dream journal or just jot down certain themes or things that you saw in your dreams, or even just being open to having dreams, this one. I feel like all of this is going to serve in your breakthrough, right? And again, the breakthrough is this balance of masculine and feminine energy within us. And once we get that, we're going to be able to re-spark ourselves, right? There's that renewal and spark energy. So the shadow aspects that I see here to just be cautious of in this process are deception and temptation. Be very careful of lust. I think lust can be really detrimental, especially. So, sex is an acronym for like sacred energy exchange. And so if you think about it like that, I've made some videos about, I think they're collective combos for the most part. And a lot of them were targeted to the masculine collective, but we each have masculine and feminine within us. And under patriarch, most feminine bodies and people and whatever are in a masculine energy without knowing, right? That's that competition, that's that pick-me-ness, that's that seeking male validation energy. And as a masculine, that feels validating to receive that energy, but really it's just two wounded masculine energies trying to escape how they really feel, right? So I've made some collective combos about lust and ways to practice self-control, self-respect as well, especially when you're in a healing when you're consciously in a healing process. The best thing to do is remain either abstinent or celibate, to really stay in your own energy, because again, sexual energy it's your sacral energy, it's your life force energy, and when you're not really in a space to be sharing that kind of energy, and you do, or you don't really know the person that you're sharing the energy with, or that person shares their energy with a lot of people, all of those things can just add more layers of confusion. It can add more layers of shadow, right? So my saying is, and it's funny because Tom DeLonge in that one song says, when I teach masturbation, I say just have fun with it. And that's how I feel too. Masturbation is the way to go. If you really need to release energy, do that with yourself, right? Mind over matter as well. Your brain is your largest sexual energy, especially for women. If you can be present in your mind in an orgasm, and you can recall what it was that you were thinking about, especially if it's not even in regard to looking at body parts, it's in regards to energy and healing. I mean, that's a whole nother aspect of healing. I didn't think this conversation was gonna go here, but here we are. So do your best to do whatever you feel is necessary. We can talk more about masturbation later. But that's, you can release energy that way. You can release trauma that way. And it's safe because you're doing it with yourself. And that's also it's like building a brick wall. It's going to be like another layer of trust within yourself if you can do that, right? Instead of giving yourself and taking from others in an unhealthy way. Because let's keep it real, hookup culture is not healthy. Not in regards to spiritual healing. That's for damn sure. I've been celibate for about 7 years now. I stopped having sex when I was like in my beginning my second trimester of pregnancy because I found out that he was like cheating on me while pregnant. That's like a really, really painful thing, and I don't ever want to have another child, so it's just something I don't do. I practice by myself, and I'm fine, so you can get to that point too. It's, whatever. Okay, moving on. There is separation, longing. There is distance, retreat, time out. There is deception and temptation. There is... I think that's about it. So, with these 3 shadowy aspects, those aren't even really shadow aspects. There's nothing really negative here. These are just, the deception and temptation, I think we just touched on quite a bit. Separation and longing and distance and retreat. I would say if there's someone that you want to communicate with, it is Mercury retrograde until August 17th or so, and then we have the post-shadow period, which is about 2 weeks after that. That's when I'm usually most affected by Mercury retrograde. I learned that I was born during a Mercury retrograde, so I don't really get affected by Mercury retrograde like a lot of people do. But the post-shadow period, I usually experience some sort of technological problems. So right now, maybe it's not. It depends on who it is that you want to reach out to. But I would say at this point in time, maybe just take notes on what you want to say. And then, toward the end of August would be a better, safer time to share those outside of yourself. So we have deceptions, change, and courage, or decisions, excuse me. Maybe Mercury retrograde is just a deception. I don't know. That was a Freudian slip. I fucking hate Freud, but... anyway, he's a weirdo. Just be conscious of your decisions, I guess. Especially if you are in the space of wanting to find balance within yourself. It's all here. It's just, you're the little character, you're the little game piece that's moving through this life. So you get to decide how that goes. You get to roll your own dice. You get to pick your own cards. I'm thinking of Candyland and the Game of Life right now. And it's just like you get to choose if you're gonna get stuck in the molasses forest, right? You're gonna choose what cycles you're gonna continue to repeat. And that's where this courage to change and nostalgia comes in. It's like just because something happened doesn't mean it needs to continue happening. Right? Especially if there's like family trauma or drama around you. I say fuck all those motherfuckers. Especially if you're the cycle breaker. Cut your losses. Cut your fucking losses. Alright, I'm gonna pull a couple affirmations for us. This is a new deck I got to hand out to the kiddos. I think I'm gonna do a shorts project with them before I start handing them out, but let's go ahead and pull a couple. So repeat these to yourself as much as you need, okay? I am intelligent and focused. I am a force of nature. That's another thing. Whenever you're feeling overwhelmed by anything within this energy, go outside. Ground yourself. Put your feet on the earth. Talk to a tree. Look at some bugs. I'm an arachnophobic, and there's a black widow guard spider like right outside on my porch, like going down. And I saw her yesterday, and I'm pretty sure she's the black widow that was in my house that I like shooed into a yoga mat and threw in my front yard 2 years ago because she, like, the way she parked right outside my door. So I was talking to her yesterday and I'm like, you know what, you can stay there as long as you don't come in my house, but you come in my house, you're dead, like, for real. I appreciate your support and your love and your protection because it's a black widow, like, right there. I hate spiders, but she's catching cockroaches and that needs to happen. So I'm gonna let her be there. I've noticed her web too. I've noticed how it's gotten a lot bigger this spring and summer, because my friend told me that black widows like to nest like low. And so I noticed her, but I didn't see her until yesterday, and then I saw her last night, and then I saw her this morning as well. So she is not hiding herself from me. She doesn't feel threatened, and I don't either. Niall and I don't go out there. We're fine. And she's really pretty. I'm trying to get over spiders, but whatever. I am cared. I am loved. So if you feel like you're not receiving that from someone outside of you, do that for yourself. Whatever that looks like, you know, indulging in your favorite snacks. I've made plenty of shorts projects. There's a fuck ton of playlists. Shorts, like I'm talking like 5 seconds, right? So 5-7 seconds of stuff that you can do every day, ways to help you kind of mold your brain in a different way. My past may be ugly, but I am still gorgeous. Hell yeah. You can call tonight. I'll be at your side. I will not waste a single day of my life. Today is the only today there will ever be. And last one, I am strong, I am worthy, I am enough.